If you had told me 10 years ago that I would be making my own liquid hand soap from home, I would not have believed you because I didn't realize you could do this kind of stuff from home. But once I did discover the whole DIY world of making your own skincare, soaps, lotions, and bath bombs out of your own home, it was still a long time before I eventually started to make this kind of soap. And in the 3 or 4 years, I was learning so much. And there's still so much to learn. I feel like I learn something new all the time. It's so easy to get overwhelmed when you first dip your toe into this because the pool is so deep and there's so much to absorb. And that's why I think the best approach when it comes to anything that's overwhelming is to not think of yourself as making big projects like this or even a 20-bar loaf of soap. Think about it in small, tiny steps. What could you be doing today that'll help you get to that goal down the road? And that's how it was for me when I first started to get interested in making my own soap. I made the smallest batch possible. I didn't use the greatest tools. I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I had no idea if the fragrance oil that I was purchasing was even going to be good, let alone stay in the soap that I was actually making at the time. I had nothing. I was a clean slate. And in those early years where you're still struggling to get a foothold, it can be so easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others. And the people that you tend to see on Instagram are people that have been doing this way longer than you have, that have gone through all of the trials and errors that you're currently going through. It's kind of a rite of passage. It's something that we all have experienced on our road to get to becoming soap makers and eventually soap business owners. And because as beginners we are constantly comparing ourselves to more established business owners, we feel that urge to quit because it just seems so far away, us getting to that goal someday. It just seems impossible. But what if instead of comparing yourself to those people, you just focused on yourself and your own progress? Success really is an accumulation of small steps, small decisions that you make as a person in your life. And they could be decisions that you don't think have anything to do with your end goal. It could be a small lifestyle change. It could be buying a self-improvement book. It could be cutting your time on social media because you realize that your time spent scrolling through that app is just a huge waste of time. That single decision to just keep trying and keep going and keep making incremental tiny changes just began to snowball, and I'm so grateful that I decided to stick with it. And here are the cut soaps the next day. This is actually my matcha green tea soap, and you can see that it's starting to turn brown, but there is still that olive green tone in the soap still. And then over here is the beautiful indigo soap, and it's giving gray. It's a little darker than what I thought it would be, but it's still blue. It's still a blue hue, and I hope that that translates on the camera because to my eye, it's quite blue. And if you compare it with the green, I think it really stands out. Today I need products up on the website. I have sugar scrubs that need to be labeled. That is my laser engraver beeping at me. It's been doing that. I don't know why. I need my soaps, a few of them lasered and decorated so that they can go on the website. And what else do I need? And I need to frost the bath bombs that I'm putting up today, my bath moats, my bath sprites. I'm calling this launch the Midnight Tea Party, and it came to me because that indigo is such a really beautiful, moody, dark blue, and I felt like the tones of everything just screamed feminine floral tea party at midnight. So that is what this latest launch is about. So let's go ahead and start doing things. I'm not sure what I want to do first. I think what I'm going to do is the bath bombs because that's the task that needs the most attention. So let's go ahead and do that. So these are the bath bombs that I made that need to be frosted. These are all natural colorants. Look at the beautiful pale green. Oh, that one kind of fell apart on me a little bit when I squished it, so I won't be selling that one, but the other ones, they should pop out pretty easily. Oh no, are we stuck? Oh, there we go. But this is the gorgeous green color that you're gonna get if you use matcha powder as your colorant. Is it going to color the bath water this color? Absolutely not. Any type of natural colorant is not going to color your bath water. And if it does, it's probably not good. Like for example, activated charcoal. I've heard so many horror stories about people using bath bombs that have used activated charcoal as the colorant and also as the special ingredient in the bath bomb, only to have their bathtub just coated in charcoal. And that's not a good experience for the customer. So keep that in mind, that if you're wanting a more natural vibe to your bath bombs, you're sacrificing the water show that a dye would give if you were to use that as your colorant in your bath bomb. But these are so pretty, and they definitely have their fans. I don't know if I'm ever going to leave my colorants behind or stop using micas. I don't think I'm ever going to make that shift, but I do want to include more and more naturally colored products to my line because I just think it's so much fun. It's so much fun to use the power of plants and other botanicals and clays to achieve a beautiful color. I'm really scared I'm gonna break them. Like this one for sure was not, when I pressed it, it felt not great. I wanted that 18th bath bomb and I probably should have just pressed a couple of sample bath bombs. Oh, there we go. Ugh, falling apart just a little bit. Oh, I've had a few comments from the last video from people telling me that I was frosting the wrong side of the bath bomb, where it should be the hollowed part that I should be frosting. But the whole point is if you were to add some decoration to the top, and I know that's how it's supposed to be, I know, it's just round, so it's gonna just, I don't know, roll around everywhere. Like I don't see the issue with frosting the top of this. So if you were to frost the inside of this, which I know many soap makers do, it's just gonna roll around and maybe break off the whatever decoration you use in the hollow of this bath bomb. The point of me doing it this way is so that it doesn't roll around. And if you're worried about the bath frosting coming off, it's there pretty securely. And I will show you that frosting in just a moment. Let me just release these bath bombs from their cavities because they are in there pretty good. It's been quite humid in Washington, a lot of rain. So I'm not surprised that these bath bombs are a little stuck in their cavities. I achieved this gorgeous color through Brazilian purple clay. Again, a clay is not going to color your bath water, but it does have a lot of label appeal. And you don't need a lot to color the batch. Baking soda is pretty absorbent. It'll take in most colors really well, but it does take some tweaking and experimenting to know exactly what color you're gonna get. And I always recommend that to people, that if you were to learn a recipe from me, it's always good to just go back and test it and tweak it to your liking. Because if you're using safe usage levels, then the final product, how strongly it smells, how brightly it's colored, the feel of it, how people use it, a lot of it is subjective and you're your best barometer. So make a product that you love to use because you're also going to be that product's best advocate. So we have all of our bath bombs flipped over, looking really cool, looking really satisfying. I don't know why I'm tapping them like that. Let me go ahead and whip up the frosting. So I split that bath frosting recipe into two and I'm coloring them now. This is the color or the bath frosting that's going to be on my matcha green tea bath bombs, which smells really minty and fresh and like eucalyptus. I've tried a few bath frosting recipes and this one is a winner. It solidifies rock hard in a couple of days, although I do recommend having a dehumidifier next to your products if you're in a really humid climate like I am here in Washington, and that'll help this bath frosting set up real nice. So that's my green, which I used Brambleberry's Sage Green. So pretty. I love this colorant. It's gorgeous. So for the lavender bath bombs, I'm going to be using this purple colorant by Nurture Soap. It's called Purple Vibrance. Who doesn't like a vibrant colorant? Ooh, that's vibrant. So I don't think I'm going to use a lot. Maybe this much. The reason why this foaming base looks a little gray is because I tried a little bit of alkanet root powder to see if it would color it a nice color. Colored it gray. So we're back to mica for this one. So that is what I have. I think I'm going to use a little bit more. We're aiming for a soft lilac color. For bath frosting, I don't add oils or anything that could keep it from drying out. I really do want bath frosting to be as rock hard as possible, especially if you ship your products like I do. Another reason why I like this bath frosting recipe so much is that it gives you a lot of time to play with. It doesn't start to set up or anything. Like I know some recipes use cocoa butter, which adds a nice moisturizing touch to the bath frosting, but it can start to set up on you and it could start to get really tough to pipe. So this one is very forgiving if you are a beginner, but also if you just like to take your time, like I do. So here are 2 bath frosting colors. I'm gonna get my piping bag. I'm excited about this latest launch. More excited than I have been for anything else because I felt like I made stuff that I was really psyched about and really excited, not only just to make, but to share with people. And I'm finding that is so important these days. You gotta have that balance. Okay. Aren't these so cute? Oh my goodness. And they're so fun to make. I'm not a baker by any means, but I'm wanting to be one. I recently purchased some cake pans because I've been wanting to make a coconut cake for so long. So I'm gathering the supplies, but piping stuff as a baker, this has to be super fun, right? Like, it's so satisfying.
Coffee in a paper cup. The engine starts right up. Clip myself into the middle seat. Daddy liked talk radio. On gravel he would drive real slow. He told me let's go see what we could see. We pulled into the empty lot before the pavement got too hot. Underneath her leafy crown, the only shade for miles and miles around.
I am out of my face cleanser and I need to make more. And I don't necessarily want to make more liquid foaming face cleanser. I want to try making what's called a cleansing balm, which will help me get my makeup off at night, but it's in the form of this solid cream balm like texture. I'll show you what I mean.
If only I could finish something, run straight through to the end, close a chapter dignified. Dang girl, you did it again. But will it ever be enough when I'm bent on trying to keep it tough? Will I ever settle down, happy with the here and now?
here is the final cleansing balm. And to use this, you would apply a little bit to your skin while it's dry. You rub it in a little bit, and then you add some water, and you'll start to see this balm turn into a smooth, creamy lotion, and then you just wipe it all away. I normally don't add scent to my face products, but I couldn't resist when I smelled amber and driftwood from Village Craft and Candle. That smells so good and so soothing, and it's light enough that it's not too heavy when used in skincare products, in my opinion. But if you're super sensitive, I wouldn't recommend using any sort of fragrance oil when it comes to your face products. If you want to make your own cleansing balm, there is a super simple recipe down below, but if you want to make this exact cleansing balm with all of the ingredients that I use, then you will find that on my Patreon, along with a printable PDF and all of the steps and a dedicated blog post where I walk through everything, the ingredients, and I just kind of explain my thought process in formulating this cleansing balm. And that is the number one place too where you can ask me questions and communicate with me. I am there 24/7 for my patrons. You guys are so awesome. And speaking of my patrons, thank you so much to you guys for supporting me on Patreon, especially these guys, my bubble BFFs. Without your generosity and your friendship and your comments, my YouTube channel wouldn't be where it is today. So thank you so much. But that is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed this Make With Me video, days in my life as a soap artist. And for those of you who are currently very overwhelmed right now and feeling like you have to hustle and push yourself more than you comfortably want to, this is your sign that you can slow down, and you probably should slow down because it's not a race. And if you push yourself too hard, you just might get burnt out and quit altogether. And that is way worse than what you think is a failure when you launch things and nobody buys them. Quitting now is not going to help you get to where you want to go. So small steps, be kind to yourself, and don't worry and compare yourself to other people because you are on your own journey. So if that resonates with you, then don't forget to subscribe. And until the next video, keep smiling, keep being awesome, and I will see you in that next video. Bye guys.